replay. Don't need to make plans, it's all in your hands. I'm too busy, I'm spending all my time with you. Driving through the States, don't know what awaits. It don't matter, I'm spending all my time with you. I'm spending all my time. I'm spending all my time with you. Oh, I'm spending all my time. I'm spending all my time with you. I've seen your smile light up the darkest rooms. I'll put your love on top, 'cause I know you will too. You get more beautiful like flowers bloom. I've never felt this yet, it feels like deja vu. So you can let your hair down, I'll hide all of your worries away, and we don't have to go now. I wish I could live this life on replay. So you can let your hair down, I'll hide all of your worries away, and we don't have to go now. I wish I could live this life on replay. Don't need to make plans, it's all in your hands. I'm too busy, I'm spending all my time with you. Driving through the States, don't know what awaits. It don't matter, I'm spending all my time with you. I'm spending all my time. I'm spending all my time with you. I'm spending all my time. I'm spending all my time with you. Yeah, just kicking up daisies. Got one too many quarters in my pockets. Count 'em like the 4-leaf clovers in my locket. Untied laces, yeah. Just tripping on daydreams. Got dirty little lullabies playing on repeat. Might as well just ride around the nursery and count sheep. I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles, profanities. I see the world through ice covered in ink and bleach. Cross out the ones who heard my cries and watched me weep. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush. Take my eyes open to force reality. Why can't you just let me eat my weight in glee. I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in their cradles, profanities. Some days I feel skinnier than all the other days. Sometimes I can't tell if my body belongs to me. I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello and good afternoon, Sunway. You're listening to Fillet O Friday, tuning Sun4U Radio, the brightest campus radio. So for our next segment would be Across the Causeway, starring Jean and Joy and a special guest, so don't go away.
Don't make me ask you twice. Oh, don't stay tonight. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side. Just don't stay tonight. Almost do what's right. I'm done being polite. Oh, don't stay tonight. She got a body like a goddess, and she talks so sweet. It's like I can't believe I'm the one that she wanted. And if I'm really being honest, I know I could be everything she needs if she let me get on it. Yeah. So come here, baby, listen close, hold me tight, don't let me go. Girl, you know that I'ma want you all my life. But I got so much left to do, except for falling in love with you. So I'ma let you keep me up another time. But please.
Mic on.
Good morning, Sunway students, staff, and listeners from beyond. You're tuning in to Fillet O Friday on Sun4U Radio. Welcome to Across the Causeway, the segment where we talk about the life, laughs, and lessons of students adjusting to the new culture as they move on to study on campus.
I'm Jin from Petaling Jaya, Malaysia,
And I'm Joy from Singapore.
and we are here to unpack the real student experiences from someone not across the causeway, but across a few oceans and maybe even a few continents. Let's all give a warm welcome to our special guest today, Joshua. Woo!
Woo! Hello, Joshua.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
We are great. How are
Yeah,
you?
great.
I'm doing amazing.
How did you come to the radio station? Driving?
Basically, I drove
You drove
last minute, like always.
from
Quickly
where?
rushed from Bangsa South.
From Bangsa South. Wow.
So the
Okay.
jam must be pretty bad, no?
No, actually, I drove through the tollway. I
Oh,
don't know which name, but it was quite fast.
okay.
15 minutes.
Okay.
So anyway, today's topic, culture shock. So what happens when a half German, half Malay studies in Malaysia? So, Joshua, welcome to our show. Do you want to start by maybe telling our listeners a little bit more about yourself, maybe like more about your background, where you're from?
Wow, Jin, that was one amazing introduction. But basically, to introduce myself, I am Joshua, like you mentioned. I'm half German, half Malaysian, and I'm here in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, since 2 years, almost 2 years now, studying in Sunway University, doing few freelance projects, and yeah, lived in many countries. I lived in Dubai, Iran, Germany, and now Malaysia. So I've been in many different types of cultures,
You're a man of
environment.
many cultures.
Man of many cultures.
Yes.
Wow. So, Josh, let's go back to the beginning. How old are you now, right now?
I am 22 years old.
Wow, 22.
22 years young, Josh.
Young.
Oh,
young.
wow. You guys make me feel young.
So from my understanding, you mentioned you're half German, half Malaysian. Could you tell us more about your parents?
Yeah, so my mom is Malay. Originally, we're from Kota. Oh my god, I forgot the kampung name.
It's okay.
But we're basically from the Selangor Perak border, but we live in KL area, so that's from my mom's side. And my father's side, we're actually from Mainz, but we live in Frankfurt area. Do you guys know? Have you guys ever been to Frankfurt?
I've heard of Frankfurt, but of course I've personally never been to Europe. Actually, I would love to go if you show me
I'll
around.
invite
Josh.
you, but you pay the
course.
tickets.
Right. So you grew up in Germany, correct?
Yeah.
Could you tell us, the audience and us, how did you grow up in Germany? How was it like?
Okay, so growing up in Germany is much different than Malaysia. So number one, of course, it's a Western country, making it more open in sharing opinions, or more open in the sense of being yourself. That's something I experienced. And the education system is also quite different. Of course, in public schools, everything's free, even university. And the way you get educated is a little bit different. I would say it's a little bit more global. You learn more global stuff, especially in history and few different subjects. And other than that, is the people is much more, I would say it's much more different in Malaysia in a sense, because if you want to socialize with people in Malaysia, it's much easier. In Germany, because Germany culture, we like to say, is a little bit cold. In Germany, we call it kalt. Kalte Kultur, cold culture. So
Kalte Goku?
Kalte Kultur.
Kalte
Kultur.
Ja.
Wow.
Yeah. So basically,
Exactly.
so you're saying Malaysians are generally more open in general?
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit it, they're much more open in a sense. I'm not only saying it as a half Malay, but I would say all cultures in Malaysia are much more open and is much more funner, I would say, than in...
But how did you find that being a only half German in Germany at the time? Because obviously you're half German, half Malay, so did you find that it was a bit harder for you to socialize?
I mean, that's actually a very good question, Jin. So for me personally, as a half German, half Malaysian, I would never be seen as a full German. Similar in Malaysia, I'll never be seen as a full Malaysian. So it makes it quite different. Frankfurt is quite global. So usually the community I was with is more global community, not really German, but I had few German friends, like my father.
Like your father? no
My
other
only German friend.
Only German friend?
Exactly.
What's your favorite German phrase?
My favorite German phrase? Let me think. Das Kirsch bleibt im Dorf.
Kirsch died. What?
Kirsch bleibt im Dorf.
What does that mean, Josh?
Basically, that's like a phrase. Translation, the church stays in the village. So that people
So
usually say, like, if you talk about, like, oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm staying here. And it's like, oh, das Kirsch bleibt im Dorf. So basically, you're just staying in your environment.
Interesting.
Sorry, I have a favorite. I have a German phrase that I like. Do you want to hear it? Okay,
Is it a controversial one?
No, Josh, please, no, Josh.
Oh no.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I'll try it, but I think it's okay. It's Das ist Wurst.
Oh, the sausage?
This is sausage, right?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
No, I love it because my friend told me like the phrase "this is sausage." They say it for like it's like whatever, isn't it? Like oh no,
Yeah, exactly.
that's nonsense. So they said das ist Wurst.
Yeah.
It's quite funny. I thought.
Actually, the funny thing is, if you go in the south of Germany, they don't say Wurst, they say Wurst.
Wurst.
So they say, das ist Wurst.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So it means the same thing, but in different parts
Yeah,
of Germany
different.
you say it differently.
Yeah. Can imagine, like, in Malaysia with the Kelantanese dialect. Also quite different.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah, same
What
for
about
them.
there's one about like train stations that I quite like. Like it's like I only know train stations. like,
ich verstehe Bahnhof.
that's good.
That means like I'm lost. I don't know what we're talking about.
yeah, that's funny, right? It just be like I only know train stations.
Yeah, it's like right now for me.
But the only thing I kind of know in like German is like 9, you know.
Yeah, that's a very good one. 999.
999.
Now, okay, Josh, you obviously now you've eventually, of course, moved to Malaysia. So you said that only 2 years ago that you started living in Malaysia. Before that, you maybe only come and visit like once in a while. Is that correct?
Yeah, in Germany we have a different holiday system. So we have summer. So then I would come here usually every summer holidays, for like 2 months exactly.
So like throughout the summer you just stay in Malaysia.
Yeah.
So you have spent quite a lot of time in Malaysia growing even in your younger years, right?
Yeah, but that was more like in holiday sense. So like nice.
So did you find that you have time to sort of embrace your Malay culture, your Malay side?
No, not really. Actually, as a young person, if it's more for holidays, yeah, you see your Malay family. But when I moved here, then I embraced it more because then I have spent more time with my family and then embrace more the culture, the language, religion, etc.
How often did you move?
During my life, I moved, I think, 4 times to be exactly.
Wow.
I was born in Munich, but then I moved to Iran.
Wow.
Iran, I stayed 2 years. Dubai, 5 years, 6 years. And in Germany, 12 years, and now here, 2 years.
Is it because of your parents' that's why you moved around a lot, or is
Yeah, my dad was a chemical engineer.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, quite funny story. When we lived in Iran and we migrated to Dubai, my father actually got accused for being part of the nuclear program in Iran. I don't know if I can mention that, but
Like
I don't know.
accused by.
they accused
Accused
him,
by
and
who?
he got interrogated from the
Oh.
CIA and
Wow.
the
Holy.
Arabic intelligence. Yeah, the whole family actually.
This was in Iran, you said.
No, this was when we moved in Dubai. So the first day
Oh.
we entered in Dubai, we were walking to the airport, and then out of nowhere, people just surrounded us and like, oh, follow me.
Is there
You
like a reason to?
No, yeah, basically they just assumed it, but then of course my father proved that it's just all nonsense.
Right.
And he
Wow.
was just working for a German company.
That was quite a crazy experience for
It
a
must be
young
quite
for
frightening,
someone so young.
actually.
I mean, you were like what 5, 6 at the time.
No, the funny thing is, no, I was quite young, like you mentioned 5, 6. I didn't really notice. I thought it was just
Oh,
part of the airport.
part of the
Part of the immigration
Part
or
of the
something.
immigration
part of
process.
Part of the immigration
the
process.
welcoming culture.
Yeah. Welcome to my country.
Okay, so it was from you said born in Munich, moved to Iran, Dubai,
Wow.
and back to Germany,
Germany and then
Frankfurt. right?
Frankfurt and
Yes.
then KL.
Oh,
Ooh.
and so I mean, you talk about Frankfurt, right? But like, can you tell us a bit about your high school life in Frankfurt? Presumably, you were there for high school.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to admit, in Frankfurt, I was in a private school. Yeah, these type of
Aw.
babies straight away to a private school. But
Wait, sorry, quickly. In Germany, is there like so there are like government and private schools? Is there?
yeah.
Okay.
No, usually if you want to go private school, it's because you want to do an IB. So it's usually for
Mm.
more international people.
Oh, I see.
And then, or you can go to the German school. You can do something like Abitur, which is similar to like SPM.
Right.
Oh, that's
Did you
quite-
guys do your SPM? Oh no, wait, Joy.
Well, I mean, Joy's from
Joy's
Singapore.
I
but,
did like,
I was a classic a government school boy, from young primary school, government school, then secondary school, government school. I think it's great. I think there's nothing wrong in government schools. I know there's a lot of talk about it in Malaysia, but personally, I love government schools.
Wow.
I don't know.
Right.
I've always grown up with it, so I never had too much of thought about it. I never had thought about going to an international or private school.
So it's like,
Wow.
I mean, I don't know much about SPM as well, as I'm not Malaysian, but I think every country has that leaving of that secondary school or high school
Yeah.
examination, which is like SPM. For me, it was O levels, and for you, was it? It was
IB,
IB, right?
Yeah, no, actually, I did EB. It's actually
EB.
same as IB, but you have 2 extra subjects. So they call it European Baccalaureate.
Oh.
Yeah, so but it's a similar process
Such a
as
cool
IB,
name.
but just 2
Yeah,
extra.
why are all the names so like fancy?
Yeah, it's so long.
Do you know what SPM stands for? I'm pretty sure I am getting this right, by the way.
Sekolah?
No, it's Sijil Pelajaran Malaysia. It just means
Sijil
the
Pelajaran.
study certificate of Malaysia.
So like,
The,
it proves that you studied.
the education certificate of Malaysia. That's the name of our that's what SPM stands
Wow.
for. And yours is called what? The
Europäische Baccalaureate.
oh.
I don't even know what,
What
O
a
level
name.
stands for.
yeah, but that's such a cool name. Anyway,
That's so cool. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
so you did your IB. Then obviously after the next step, is it a degree for you, or is it like pre-U college?
No, after IB or EB, in my sense, you can go straight away to degree.
To degree. So
Yeah, so you don't have to do a diploma. Like I think for Jin, I think Joy, you skipped, right? You also went straight to degree.
Okay, so what I did was after my O levels, so I went to art school for about 3 to 4 years. My art school gave me that diploma, so I did like broadcast media, and in Singapore it's quite different because I think in Malaysia they have the foundation year, then you can go to degree straight away, right?
yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
We don't have that. We have to get that diploma to go to degree. There is ways around it, but usually that's the the ordinary route. This is why I'm kind of older than most of my classmates.
Oh,
Yeah, unfortunately. But yeah, I think that's one thing I realized, that my route took way longer than a lot of Malaysians, I think. Yeah, how about the Germans?
no, okay. German is similar. If you want, you don't do diploma. Actually, even if you finish your Abitur, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you can just straight away do degree.
Oh.
So actually, we don't have
So, like,
in Germany. We have no colleges. We have no diploma system. We don't have anything in the sense where you go college and then straight away get a degree. It's just straight After high school, you just study straight away in university.
So like people in uni in Germany are quite young, like maybe 18 years old, they get into university.
Yeah, actually even younger. I mean, I have a few graduates, age 17 already.
Wow.
Already start studying. I mean, usually they take a gap year, but I would say gap year is for the week. So
Gap years for the week.
Yeah.
Don't quote that, guys. Don't.
So I guess you didn't take a gap year, Josh. You
no, actually I did.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, actually.
Like, so are you
I
weak?
was one of the week, but I transitioned.
Wait. Oh, that's quite interesting. I think in Malaysia, on the average, it's okay. Look, government school, you'll be 17. You're done with secondary school, then maybe 1 or 2 years of pre-U, and then only you do your degree. So on average, I think the age is about 19 years old when you enter uni in Malaysia.
Okay, that's quite good.
How old did you enter?
19.
19.
End of
Oh, I see.
What about you, Joy, if you want to expose to us?
Oh my gosh. I
Enjoy.
entered uni, we are all classmates, right? I entered uni when I was 23, so I met you guys when I was 23.
What?
Oh my gosh, I'm like 4 years older than you. But it doesn't
Okay,
feel
really
like I'm out of place.
Senorita.
I think everyone was quite welcoming. I think you guys are quite mature people, and
But-
talking to you guys feels like I'm talking to people my age.
No, but actually here in Sunway, I've met people who were studying 30s, actually. 27,
yeah.
26.
Yeah, I think it's normal.
Yeah, no age
But-
for education, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, for you, Joy, I don't know. Your diploma was also like 2-3 years, no?
That's
It's
3
quite
to 4
long.
years.
Whoa,
4 years?
4 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So a
4 years.
PhD right there.
No, I did like broadcast media film. It was like in year 1 we did the introduction, and year 2 we go deeper and deeper. And it's like a very niche thing. It's like I was studying for like masters, but
Like, how many years when you want to study, Joy? You've been studying for like.
oh, I love studying. Do
like-
you not love studying?
I love it every single
Every
second.
single. My teacher's probably listening in. So,
Favorite subject, Josh? Favorite subject?
Any Miss Yesu subject.
so
It's
like
the best.
PR campaign.
PR campaign. Oh yeah, campaign.
How,
is a
how,
bitch.
how about like high school wise?
High school. Okay, honestly,
History.
I don't want to say this is controversial, but if
Oh.
you're asking like high school history wise to compare Europe with Malaysia,
Okay.
I would say the teaching experience in Western countries much better.
Right.
To
It's-
Malaysia, with all respect, we have good lectures in Sunway. We're the best private university in Malaysia, which I really agree on. But if I compared with the education wise, I would say the way they educate in Western countries, so in Germany in that sense, is much better.
I'm kind of curious because I guess in Singapore like the education system is quite strict, and I think I believe
No.
that the German system is more similar to the Singaporean system. Based on my research, I'm not sure how factual it is because I've never been through it. But could you explain to us like why you think that the Western countries are a bit more
Yeah.
yeah.
So my experience for Western countries, the grading system is actually always 2 grades. So basically, for me, they call it the A grade. Basically, so the A grade is more like how much you participate in class, if you're very active. So this really focuses more on your nonverbal skills. Basically, each subject you get graded based on how good you're representing, how active you're in class, how much are you basically joining and participating, and then you get your normal grades. But when I came to Malaysia, I mean, guys, especially Jen, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if there's really an A grade here.
Yes.
But here, usually, especially in university, just focus on grade. But even in Germany universities, they still follow the A grade system. If you don't perform so good, but if you have a really good nonverbal participation in class on your studies, you can still get a good grade because it balances everything out. It's kind of like a 50-50 deal. But here, I feel like the focus is more on grades. And I feel like we don't really focus so much on the communication skills. And even as a communication student, I have to admit, there are many people who even take the course that cannot communicate properly, which is quite ironic. But
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
I think, sorry, Joy.
You can go ahead.
I was going to say, on Josh's point, I can only talk about my own experience in secondary school. Yeah, I mean, at the time, we call it co-curriculums, right?
Right.
Like the extra stuff.
Like
right?
clubs,
Yeah.
right? Societies.
Yeah, other than your studies. But if you ask me personally, I don't think it really affected any of us. Like some of my friends had really active in the co-curricular stuff, but then today I look at them and look at me, we're kind of in the same place. It's
Okay.
you're right. It's not really like they don't really take into account a lot of extra stuff other than the actual grade. It's like that grade. Like I think from young we built. Okay, look, in my generation, I had every single exam from the 12-year-old the primary school exam, the UPSR. Then it's your Form 3, so that's the 3rd year of high school. That's we call PT3. Then I had SPM. So I had all of these exams. Now, if I'm not mistaken, PT3 and UPSR completely disappeared. There's no more.
exactly.
Yeah. So just based off that, yeah, it felt very study. It was always study. You know, it was like in form 1 to form 3. It was like all about PT3.
Yeah,
then form
exactly.
4, all
That's what
about
I mean in a
SPM.
sense.
So,
Don't you think that I mean, you're from a Western country, Josh, and we are from Asian countries. Do you think that Asian countries in general put more of an emphasis, like what he mentioned, we're always studying, emphasis on education rather than, you know, other things like clubs and societies?
No, 100%. I agree with you, Joy, and especially Jin's statement. There's an emphasis in the sense there's always study. But the issue is if you really only focus on study, how about your non-communication skill? Imagine in a corporate world, you cannot communicate, present properly. So I see it as a fact. I mean, in Germany, yes, we have an emphasis on our communication skills. That's why in the corporate setting, the majority can communicate properly. And in the other sense, that's why many students here in Malaysia, or in my experience in Sunway, also very introverted. Or Malaysians in general are more introverted than Western countries in a sense. And I feel like there's a correlation. I don't know if you guys share the same opinion, but I feel like if you only focus study, you tend to be more introverted, and that will lack your communication skills.
I do strongly believe in that as well, because you are kind of like what you are nurtured.
Exactly.
A lot of us probably stay home, and for me, I play a lot of games, so that has made me a bit more introverted than usual.
I didn't know you're introverted, Joy. I mean,
Really? I'm actually a huge
What?
introvert. I do think that I train myself in a way to, you know, speak up when I need to speak up. I think that's the
Oh, that's
difference
good,
between introversion. I think also most of the most successful leaders in the world are also introverted,
No,
which
I
is
agree with that.
quite interesting. And yeah, I think that's a whole nother topic other than what we are actually like doing for culture shocks and stuff. But I do think that's something that you know, people don't really realize that introversion doesn't mean you are shy. It just means
Exactly.
like how you like kind of want your own space
yeah.
in your own time.
it's a German, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
9.
Oh my God, 9.
What's the opposite of 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, really? Oh, really?
What?
Like literally just yeah?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Oh, it's just like YEA?
J-A.
J, oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's J.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The J is a Y sound.
Then isn't your name Johann?
Yeah. So Joshua or Johann is my middle name,
So
but
Joshua.
in German, yeah, Joshua. Yeah.
Joshua.
Oh, my brother's name Julian. Julian.
Julian.
Julian.
Also Jin. Tried to say Jin in
Yin.
German.
That's not the yin.
Yeah.
Yin. Yoy.
not-
Yin. Yoi.
That's
Oh
not.
my
a
gosh,
name.
you're all
Yoi.
J's.
Yoi.
Yeah, with J's. Yeah, that's kind of funny.
Not planned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, back to a bit more culture shock, Josh. So let's talk about, now you're in Malaysia.
Okay.
So you're living in Malaysia. You've been here for 2 years. Now, one of the big differences I think is actually let's say the food, of course, right? So German food, Malaysian food, very different. But for you personally, being a half Malay, half German, so you're obviously Muslim, correct?
Yes.
So, if I'm not mistaken, Germany obviously doesn't have like the as strict halal laws
Yeah.
as like Malaysia. So, did you find it very hard in Germany to sort of find like halal food sometimes?
Yeah, I mean, me always in Germany looking for halal food. Yeah, it's very hard. So I couldn't eat it at McDonald's, but I have to agree sometimes secretly.
Wait, so McDonald's is not halal in
Yeah, in
Germany?
Western countries and Europe it's not halal. But
Oh, really?
but for me, McD, like we call it here in Malaysia, is like
Yes.
it's so persuading that sometimes I have to admit I got the Big Mac. I mean, God judge me.
God judge.
Under
Oh
the roof.
shit. Oh, oh, okay. Well, I am actually quite curious because how like usually like Singapore and Malaysia you can see like the halal sign or
Oh, yeah.
I mean
In Singapore also?
yeah you can see like if you go to a vendor store in like the kopitiam or something, right, the coffee shop, you can see that that's the symbol and you know that that's halal food and
Oh yeah.
and they make it super apparent and it's really obvious so that you don't like, you know, accidentally or you don't confuse. That's part of our culture. Is that such a thing in Germany?
No, I mean the halal restaurants or the halal shops do have a halal sign, but it's not really like properly certified, and there's no like agency like in Malaysia and Singapore where you actually have the halal certification process and everything. We don't have that in Germany. You can just get a halal sticker and just say, okay, my food's halal. So it's not that strict, and actually the halal meat is a little bit more expensive.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So it's a higher cost for everything.
So that's why I have to admit the majority, even from Muslim background, will probably not eat the halal meat. I don't know if I can mention that.
That's quite
Hopefully
interesting.
they won't be mad at me for exposing the secret.
Talking about food, right? Could you like explain to us maybe some food differences you think, and which food do you think is better, German or Malaysian food?
Oh no, definitely Malaysian.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean, because we all know Malaysian food is not only the Malay cuisine, but we also have like
it's very, very
Chinese
diverse,
one,
yeah.
like fried kitiao, and then we have Indian food from our Indian Malaysians, and then the Malay food like I don't know, nasi lemak, rendang, and everything. So it is more like wet curry There's
Wet curry.
I mean,
Wet
I mean,
curry? Wait, curry
wet
is not
curry.
wet?
no, I mean the food is more wet,
That's
and
more
there's
wet.
also
Okay.
Wait,
there's also
wait, can
What?
you explain? I need to like enlighten my
What did you
wet
say?
food.
What did you say,
It's like
Josh?
I'm
Okay.
talking about my cats.
What did you say,
okay.
Josh?
To explain it better, in Germany the food's more dry, so there's not really like more sauce. For
They only
example,
have
like
schnitzel.
schnitzel,
Schnitzel.
schnitzel,
Yeah,
schnitzel, and everything, and then the basically the Malay food is more like there's more spices, and then there's more like sauce. If it's like sambal, for example, which makes the food more wet. If we eat Indian cuisines or even Malay cuisines where there's like curry, it makes it more wet. So that's what I mean with wet curry. I don't know what you're thinking about gin, but yeah.
What? No,
Yeah, Jin,
no.
what are you
I'm
thinking
thinking
about?
of my Malay Indian food and wet curry. You know,
Yeah.
So-
rendang.
In Germany is a huge country. Could you share us maybe some of the main national dishes you have?
Oh, we have schnitzel, and then we have sauerkraut.
Give
Sour-
it English
sauerkraut.
translation.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Ah.
Translation. But in Germany we call it sauerkraut.
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 Everything's
Try
more,
Jin.
everything. Say it again, Josh.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut.
Exactly.
I
Wow.
can't get that. I can't
just
get
got
the.
the
I can't get
A1.
the German accent. Yeah, it's a bit
You should
hard.
do A1. It actually sounded quite good.
Oh, like
Mm,
oh,
maybe
you
you
mean
have
the
a
you mean the German?
talent.
You
Yeah,
mean the
German
language
A1.
exam.
If you get the
Oh.
A1, you can study in Germany.
Oh
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
It's very common in Malaysia.
interesting.
Maybe in another lifetime, Josh. Maybe in
Okay.
another lifetime.
Maybe in another lifetime.
Now speaking of language, Josh. Now you're obviously back in Malaysia. You're half Malay, right? So, in Germany, did you speak a lot of Malay with your family still, or
No, okay. With my mom, I did speak, but I have to admit, with my mom, it was more like English Malay.
was it more of a mix?
Yeah, it was more mixed. But as soon as I came to Malaysia, especially when I meet my Malay family members, I just speak.
So you have to embrace that a lot.
Yeah, I have
more,
to
right?
embrace it. But I have to admit, I'm not perfect in Malay now.
Still-
Don't ask me for anything Malay, but
Would you say your name in Malay?
I was
I'm
gonna say
Messiah
this is
Joshua.
unfortunately Joy can't understand this, but Joshua boleh kita berbual dalam
Ah,
bahasa Melayu
I
tak?
understand
boleh
Malay.
buat
Boleh,
bahasa
boleh.
Melayu.
Sikit je. Okay, nak
Okay.
tanya. Okay, nak tanya.
Ah, boleh tanya.
Apa?
Boleh. Oh, ya boleh.
Yeah, I feel excluded
Oh.
here.
Sorry, time to leave.
So okay, Joy. We'll translate this later.
Alright, sure.
Now, Joshua, bolehkah bagi tahu apakah yang paling suka pasal Malaysia?
Okay, sini saya suka. Number one saya suka sini culture Malaysia.
Apa number one? Nombor satu.
Nombor
Josh.
satu.
Ah,
Nombor
okay,
satu
betul.
topik Malaysia saya suka ini culture Malay culture. Cause saya mau orang Melayu. So apa saya suka makan Melayu,
I'm a pretend I
pergi
understand.
masjid dengan family.
Oh,
Ah.
baiklah. Baiklah.
baik.
You
Sangat
tahu
baik tau.
Boleh.
Joshua ni
you
sangat
tahu
baik
pergi
tau.
masjid
Ni-
Joy?
Ni budak baik tau. Ni budak baik tau. Okay.
Let's reverse it. Why not we speak
Alright,
Chinese?
anyway.
Oh my god.
Okay, so no, basically, and that's okay. Josh is a good child. Is basically what you need to know. He's a good
Right.
boy. He's a good boy.
Okay,
I was
good boy.
raised well.
Oh, actually,
Yeah, I see.
not to. Sorry to interrupt, guys, but we recently moved to YouTube, so there are actually people typing
Oh.
on the
Is
chat
there?
while we talk. Yeah. So
Wow.
just now we were talking about the
God.
Malaysian education system, right, versus the German system.
Yeah.
So
How about beer at McDonald's? Someone says.
I mean,
Sure, Germany.
do I
is-
drink beer? Oh my god. Is God listening?
Maybe
I cannot answer
no need
that.
to answer that. It's okay,
Right.
Josh.
So Aston says that in Malaysia they focus on grades and official certification a lot. Is that very? Do you think that's true? I mean, we did talk about how Asia versus Western countries, right? Yeah. Do you guys have any opinions on that?
About sorry, I didn't really hear Joy about law in a sense.
I think Aston mentions that Malaysia focuses on grades and official certification a lot because there's many unofficial religious and homeschooling centers that are not qualified to educate but operate anyways. Well, I personally do not
I agree
know
with that.
much of
Actually.
that.
No, I mean, I feel like there's many, especially here in Malaysia, certifications where people are like, okay, we offer certification. Have to see it, especially in public speaking. If anyone's interested in public speaking, many of the certification, I have to admit, is scam. Non-certified is just companies giving you a paper and just saying, oh, you did your certification there. But is there any approval? Did they do it under the HRD Corp? So that's the corp that allows you to give certificates. No, they didn't. So that's number two. In Germany, something like that is impossible. You cannot just do a company and give certifieds, or you cannot just create education systems and just give randomly certification. But I feel like here in Malaysia, what I also experience is there many companies that would like present themselves as an education center and just give certification based on any type of specialization. But are they really allowed to do that? Is number one. Number two, are there under the Ministry of Education. I have to agree. Many here in Malaysia not, especially. I don't want to be too controversial, but in the religious sense, yeah, I have to agree on that.
Right. To the audience out there, I think those of you who are thinking about studying in Malaysia, especially and also other countries, do your own research and make sure that the institute that you want to apply to has a certain credibility. There's a license here and there. Do your own research. So because schools that do actually get approved by the Ministry of Education, for example, they actually do their auditing. They do like proper in-depth analysis on your modules to make sure that it's aligned with other countries as well. So be careful out there. It's not only Malaysia that definitely.
Now, I want to move back towards university. You coming back to Malaysia, obviously Sunway here in Sunway University. Now, can I ask you, George, did you find it hard to sort of socialize in Sunway? You spoke about how maybe Malaysians are more open in Germany, so was it easier for you?
No, honestly, yeah, 100%.
I mean, to be fair, we met pretty early on, didn't we?
Yeah,
we met on the first week.
Yeah, I mean, Joy,
you met Joy.
and I met
first.
You sat next to me.
This might sound weird, but I met Jin actually in the bathroom. He was next to me.
Well, I don't quite remember.
We had a conversation.
I don't quite remember this. I don't know. My first memory of you, Josh, was I remember.
I remember that.
You walk in the class, I see this handsome man. I'm thinking, wow, this guy looks. Wow, I think.
Oh, you stop right there.
I knew immediately you're probably European.
I'm gonna invite you for some. Teh panas.
Okay. Oh, teh panas. Josh, sorry, Josh. I'm a teh ice kind of guy.
Okay.
So anyway, I remember Josh walking into class. He puts his bag down, sits at the front.
At the front, next to me.
Always at the front.
No, but that's why I met Joy, because Joy was also always at the front.
Yeah, I like sitting in the front. I think it's better to pay attention, you know.
But I really felt like the charisma from Josh, and
right
especially after like
when you introduce yourself.
the lecturer, Josh, he's the only one like stood up, turned around, faced the class. Hello everyone, I'm Joshua, and he's just like wow.
I mean, same as you guys. That's why we're all friends. We just want.
Right,
which is actually quite interesting.
Charismatic
Which is like,
scholars,
you could say that your characteristics kind of differ a lot from the Germans, no?
Yeah,
You're not like the average German. Of course, I mean you're not.
What is the average German actually?
And the average German is very cold. Will not really socialize with you if they don't really know you. So it's very hard to start conversation with Germans.
Is there a reason why you think?
No, it's just based on the culture. I mean, if you see other fields, like the way they do the work, they're also like that. They're very cold. It's very straightforward. I mean, I can compare. It's similar like Singaporean culture. I mean, I think Joy understands what I mean with that.
I think the more fast-paced your country is, the lesser you actually think about, the other things in life, like, saying hi to people on the train. I mean, I'm obviously the type to do that, but I know majority of my friends, they like to keep in their own bubble.
Yeah.
And Malaysians are very welcoming and friendly, and that's a huge shock that I mentioned last week as well, that I felt really welcome, and that, wow, people are willing to bring me around their country even though they have a busy schedule. That to me wasn't something that I was used to.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's kind of interesting you guys have this opinion. I feel like we're a bit different. I don't think Malaysians are actually that open.
What, really?
Like, honestly,
God.
I take public transport every single day. I've maybe only had 2 or 3 conversations with
maybe you're
strangers.
just not smiling enough.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe the problem
maybe it's me. Yeah,
Maybe it's a you problem.
But I find that most people just keep it to themselves, actually, in Malaysia. Well, I would perceive that in Europe, actually, I feel like people would be more open to be like, oh, hello, young man, where are you from?
Oh my God, no. I had a Malay friend, his name was Dennis, he lived with me, and I was walking with him. First time he was in Germany, he went to like a older German couple, and he's like, hi, wie geht's? So like, hi, how are you? They looked at him in one kind, and it was actually so racist, it's so funny. I mean, it's funny in a sense, because he looked at Dennis, and he said to Dennis like, oh, just go back to your country. And then I told these couple like, oh, why would you say that? Okay, not everyone, not everyone in Germany is like that.
Maybe Malaysia is a bit better. I don't know. Maybe it's better that we keep to ourselves more.
But I have to admit, back to your question, Jin, because I was kind of reflecting it, meditating just now about it.
Wow, just on the spot meditation.
Yeah, on the spot meditating for 1 second. And actually in Sunway, what I noticed is actually, I'm speaking for all the new students, especially the international ones. I mean, I think Joy can relate. But it's actually much difficult to actually find a friends community. Because when I came here, when I started with my MPU, the learning the Malay subjects and all of that, it was so hard to make friends. Like I tried to make friends with a lot of the Chinese Malaysians, and I just noticed they just want to mingle with themselves. Same with the Malay community. My Malay wasn't that good, so I also couldn't really mingle with them. And then where did I end up? I end up with the more international community. So I feel like here in Sunway, usually all the international students will just mingle with the international students. All the local students will just mingle with the locals.
Right. I had a conversation with Miss P before about how in our class there's like 2 international students, right? And I'm one of them, and both of us are
That's
are
more
able
than
to.
that, no?
No, there's actually 2 in our class
Oh,
specifically.
really?
It's just me and Shashank, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Josh,
Josh
is
Shashank from
Josh
Canada.
kind of.
Josh is kind of like
Yeah.
a 0.5.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
half.
And they were Miss P actually brought up that I think there is a problem with international students. It's difficult to actually enter friend groups or introduce themselves because everything is really different. And I do think that's actually a case in a lot of, not only in Malaysia, but I did feel that Malaysia is more welcoming than when I was like working in another country. So yeah, I think I'm also quite lucky that I'm in a communications course where we speak the same language. We have similar interests in things, and we like talking on the radio.
Yeah, that's what we.
Well, okay, so unfortunately, we're a bit short on time. So, Josh, maybe you can leave the listeners with a few words of wisdom for maybe talking about international students. Like, give them maybe you have advice for them how they can maybe sort of like socialize more with actually the Malaysian
Oh
students.
yeah, okay, I can do that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so my advice is quite interesting quote. It's actually from Denzel Washington, where he says that if you spend too much time in a barber shop, eventually you'll get a haircut. So
What?
yeah, sounds
I get it.
sounds confusing, but basically it means if you spend enough time doing something in a specific area, eventually you'll do that. So that to correlate that,
Okay.
for instance, if you're a new student and you want to socialize with one group on Sunway students, let's say more with the local group, eventually if you're the whole time in their environment and engage in small talks, eventually you will be friends with all of them. So basically that's how I can correlate the group. So my saying is just try to be yourself, always try to specifically always add more, try to small talk with people. Small talk is important. You have to be nice. Malaysia is very open, very full of cultures. So just speak with everyone, tell them about yourself, and most importantly, you have to be yourself, because if you're not yourself and you just try to pretend to be someone different to socialize with one specific type of group or whatever what you're doing, then you will never really like find happiness in a sense, because you're not being yourself. So be yourself, stay with the environment, and eventually you get a haircut.
Wow, very well said, Josh.
Very
well said.
wise.
Now, okay, so finally, now for our listeners out there, look, we have a lot of listeners. I'm sure a lot of you have maybe some stories about culture shocks in Malaysia. So if you do, you can find us on Instagram at Sun4U _official. You can DM us your stories, and we might even feature it next week, and we might actually talk about it maybe before we do our show, or maybe or somewhere in it, maybe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think we have that much time anymore. I know we yap a lot, and now producers telling us we have to stick to the hot clock. So
Stick to the time.
So yeah, all right. Thank you, Josh, for being
Thank
here
you so
today.
much for being here.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Join Jin.
See
Everyone listening, follow me on Instagram.
Oh,
Okay,
Josh.
all right,
Oh,
all
yeah,
right, okay.
I'm sure you can find Josh. Just type his name.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah, but I'm
Alright,
engaged, so
Joshua.
okay.
Anyway, my name has been Jin,
And I'm Joy.
and this is Across the Causeway on Fillet O Friday on Sun4U Radio. We're gonna go for a short break now, so do not go anywhere.
Right, don't go.
I get a hint of the perfume that I like. Wear it like a disguise. I come around with the perfect alibi. Midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like believe me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. I'm walking around with a smile. You got me feeling like curfew after 9. Yeah. You're tearing it up with the style. You got me living a brand new kind of life. At midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet love, and like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. Oh, don't forget I love that honey taste. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like a double dipping day. Oh, it's a double dipping day. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet love, and like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. Ooh, ah. Talking to me with your eyes, I get a hint of the perfume that I like. Wear it like a disguise, I come around with the perfect alibi. Midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet love, and like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. I'm walking around with a smile. You got me feeling like curfew after 9. Yeah. You're tearing it up with the style. You got me living a brand new kind of life. At midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Sun4U, the show where I, Jin the host, tell you about 3 fun facts and then challenge myself to answer a general trivia quiz. So today, we're going to be talking about a very hot topic because this has been going on, I think, for the last few weeks now. So I'm sure many of you have heard of this topic. It is the could 100 men beat one silverback gorilla? Just one adult silverback gorilla. Now, this has been on my mind for this last whole week because I've been hearing so many people talk about it. I'm watching a lot of YouTube shorts, a lot of YouTube reels of different content creators giving their opinions on it. And I was just there sitting and thinking, well, if they can give their opinions, so can I. So here's what I think. First of all, where did this even where did this even come from? I mean, who came up with this weird question about could 100 men beat one gorilla? That's just so random. So I decided to do a little bit of research into it to find out myself and conclude whether 100 men could beat one gorilla. But here's the thing about gorillas. I think most gorillas are actually native to India because they are a tropical creature. So, in the first place, there's only like some people that can fight a gorilla. No, it's not like everyone in the world could fight a gorilla realistically. So, but here we go. I looked up on ChatGPT, could 100 men beat one silverback gorilla? Now, ChatGPT actually believes that only 10 to 20 average adult males can do it. But I don't believe it because, okay, here are some facts about gorillas that might shock you. Or may not shock you actually, because first of all, the average weight of an adult silverback gorilla is between 135 and 220 kilograms. Their height averages from about 5.5 feet to 6 foot, which actually isn't that tall if you think about it, because I think the tallest person was like 7'7" or 7'8" or something like that. So not that tall, but taller than the average person. Sure, I'm not even 5'5". I mean I'm about 5'6" actually, but maybe 5'7" on a good day. Anyway. Other than that, gorillas are 4 to 10 times stronger than the average adult male. Now, that it's such a big range, I think, because there are so many different types of humans as well. But let's just say they are 10 times stronger than a human, just to make it easy. And they have a bite force of about 1,300 psi, which is actually twice of that of an adult lion, which I think is kind of crazy because apparently gorillas are vegetarian. So why the hell do they have such a strong bite? What kind of fruits are they eating that they need to bite through with like more force than a lion? Like lion eats meat, but yet a gorilla somehow needs 1,300 psi to eat like a grape. I don't understand it. It's weird. So, and finally, if that's not enough, they can run up to 30 to 40 kilometers per hour. I think that's faster than Usain Bolt. I don't know how fast he runs, but I'm pretty sure a human cannot run that fast. And 30 to 40 is definitely faster than any average human. I think the average human runs at about, let's be honest, like maybe 11 or 12 kilometers per hour. So yeah, here are some of the facts about gorillas. Now going back to whether or not 100 men could beat one gorilla. Here's what I would think happened. ChatGPT thinks 20 men could do it. But here's what's actually going to happen. The first 5 men will go up to the gorilla. They'll be confident. They'll go up to it and say, oh, we can take this, because the gorilla looks 6 foot tall. Maybe these are like 6 foot guys. They think they can take it. So they'll jump on the gorilla. The gorilla thinks, oh, okay, I guess I'm getting attacked now, so I'll get aggressive. And they are known to be very aggressive creatures. So he's going to fling the 5 people, beat them up, put them aside. No problem. Now the next 5 will be like, oh no, those 5 need help. Let's go jump in and help. But the thing is, when they jump in to help, the other 5 are already out of the equation. So they are also going to get beaten up. Then the last 10 are going to see this and they're just going to run away. So end up, the gorilla is going to win. So there's no way in hell that 100 men, that 20 men will beat one gorilla. Unless of course, there's a case. I will listen to this case. Look, if maybe you say 20 Dwayne Johnsons. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, the big wrestler guy? Yeah, if 20 Dwayne Johnsons fight a gorilla, maybe he can beat him. Maybe there's a chance. But definitely not 20 Jins. 20 Jins, if I came there with 20 of me, I think, well, here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'll do. I will ask the first 5 to run and say, hey, go jump the gorilla, distract it. But the original Jin, I'll just run away. Instantly just get out of there because, I'm not dealing with it because why would I fight a gorilla? It doesn't make any sense. So this whole debate about whether 100 men could beat a gorilla just doesn't make any sense. But actually there's a bit of a real problem behind this because if I'm not mistaken, the silverback gorilla is actually a endangered species. So the fact that there's even this question going around, I think is sort of hopefully can give light a little to the endangered species like the silverback gorilla, because I think it's important to talk about. I know this is a fun question to have, but in today's world, I wouldn't be surprised if, say, 20 people do actually go and find a gorilla and test it out themselves. It's just that crazy nowadays. So that I'm hoping that by talking about it, is that I can just convince people, don't do it. It's a fun question to talk about with your friends, a trivia maybe, but please don't ever go and try to fight any animals. Animals were here before us, they'll be here after us. So it's their world, we're just living in it. So with that, now I have some questions to answer about gorillas because I thought, why not, honestly, at this point. So manager Eunice / host Eunice.
Hi guys.
So what do you have for me? Honestly, just ask it. I don't know.
Okay, hold on. So it's a true or false question.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said last
Yeah,
week, right?
true or false,
Couldn't
yeah.
answer the question.
Okay. So, gorillas can burp to communicate. True or false?
Gorillas can burp to communicate. Oh, I hope that's true. So I'm gonna say true.
So, what's your answer?
I say true.
Yep, it's true.
Yes, come on.
Because turns out burping can be a friendly signal among gorillas.
Oh,
Yep.
that's quite interesting. I feel like if humans try to burp at each other, it won't be the best way to. If I go up to a girl and I start, I don't think that's the best way. But for gorillas, I guess it works. All right, next question.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, holding.
Okay, which type of gorilla is the largest?
Wow, that is such a. Well, that's like wow. That's I feel like that's quite a difficult question. It's like a biology. Which type of gorilla? What's the one I've been talking about? No, the silverback gorilla.
No, it's not.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
It's not a silver.
Okay.
It's a something gorilla, is it?
Yeah, it's a blah 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 gorilla.
It's a blah 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 gorilla, not silverback.
Yes.
No, sorry. I was thinking of just completely different type of monkey. Never mind. What's the answer?
So the answer is the eastern lowland gorilla.
That is such a lame name. What is that? Eastern lowland gorilla. What is even an eastern lowland gorilla? What? No. Hey, okay, fine, sure. Eastern lowland gorilla. Okay, they're so big. Okay.
Okay. So the last question is, what's one thing you and a gorilla definitely have in common?
Sorry. Sorry, me personally.
Just us humans generally.
Oh, humans. I thought
Yeah.
I don't know. You said you. I thought me.
Yeah, you are human, right?
We share a lot of things in common, but I think we.
What? Your height? Your weight?
well, obviously not, right? Maybe my height. I don't know. Okay, wait. What do we share? Like the most common thing between us and a gorilla?
Yes,
I feel
it's
like
like
I feel like I
a.
know this answer.
Okay.
I feel like I know.
Uh.
And if you say I'm wrong, you're wrong. Is it our DNA?
Oh
Yeah, come on.
Oh, you're so
Am I
good.
right in saying it's like 96 or 97%, something like that? It's like
Oh, you're very close.
98?
It's 98. Yeah.
Yeah, see? Come on. I know my gorillas, man. Come on. Yeah, come on. Look at this. Wait. So, we got some comments. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I think your eastern whatever gorilla is called the Growers gorilla. Now that's a cool name. If that's why it's actually called, that's a really good name. So I don't know why it's your eastern lowland nonsense.
Yeah, GPT gave it to me.
AI. You're always using AI.
I'm so sorry.
Jin is a gorilla confirmed. Thank you, whoever
We
said
have a
that.
call in.
Again,
Yeah.
another call in. Oh, wow.
Call in from GNC, from BCom, Sunway University students. So he has a question for you. Are you ready for it?
Yes, just producer Joy.
Okay. Can gorillas swim?
Oh. Can gorilla swim?
I think can. In my
Hey,
opinion.
it's not asking you.
Never mind, what I can answer also.
No,
What?
it's my show.
Okay, sure.
Can gorilla swim? Well, if you ask me, I've personally never seen I've never seen a gorilla in water, to be honest. I don't know. Okay, look, gorilla is made of, they're like pure muscle. They don't have fat at all. Like everything is like muscle. So if they go in the water, they'll just sink. No, they just right to the bottom.
So is that your answer? They can't swim?
No, they wait. Hang on.
Okay.
Can a gorilla swim? I don't know. Can they do like what? Do like freestyle? I don't think arms cannot move.
Maybe
like
you just float on water,
Yeah.
you know.
what? Do backstroke? Is it the gorilla?
No, you don't. You don't go with the styles first. The question is, can gorilla swim?
If you don't go with style, how does the
Is it
gorilla
yes or
swim?
no?
Yeah, it's a yes or no.
No, they don't swim. No way they swim.
You are reading the chat, right?
No, I know they don't swim. It's facts. It's just facts. It's just process of elimination.
Okay, the answer is gorillas cannot swim naturally and generally avoid water.
Oh no.
I see. It means I was right.
Yeah, you're right.
What
but you yep too much.
the way you read it sounded like I was wrong. You're like gorillas
yeah,
cannot
because
naturally
you don't trust
swim.
yourself.
I was like, what do you mean naturally
I'm
swim?
gonna leave the chat right now.
But yes, see, look. Basically, at the end of the day, I know a lot about gorillas. Okay.
Okay, you know your gorillas. Sure.
Yes, I know. I know. Anyway, that is all for this week's rendition of Gin for You. Hope you guys have been enlightened by this gorilla talk. And remember, please protect the planet because this is their world, not ours. Tune in next week for more facts that will warp your mind. We're gonna go for a break now, but But keep listening. This is the Fillet O Friday on Sun4U Radio.
Yes. Thank you, guys.
She got a body like a goddess, and she talks so sweet. It's like I can't believe I'm the one that she wanted. And if I'm really being honest, I know I could be everything she needs if she let me get on it. Yeah. So come here, baby, listen close, hold me tight, don't let me go. Girl, you know that I'ma want you all my life. But I got so much left to do, except for falling in love with you. So I'ma let you keep me up another time. But please don't stay the night. Don't try to change my mind. Baby, please don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. Don't make me ask you twice. Ooh, don't stay the night. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side. Just don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. I'm done being polite. Ooh, don't stay the night. She'll always find a way around it. I thought she'd be gone, but when I woke up in the morning, she was laying beside me. She know when she wanted. I can never turn her down. Oh, I probably should have kicked her out by now. But you're the finest of them all. Make me lose my self-control. All I wanna do is make you feel alright. You drive me crazy, turn me on, and that's the reason I'ma let you go. Cause you and I both know that we can't keep it quiet. So please don't stay the night. Don't try to change my mind. Please don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. Don't make me ask you twice. Oh, don't stay the night. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side. Just don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. I'm done being polite. Oh, don't stay the night. She got a body like a goddess, and she talks so sweet. It's like I can't believe I'm the one that she wanted. And if I'm really being honest, I know I could be everything she needs if she let me get on it. Yeah. So come here, baby, listen close, hold me tight, don't let me go. Girl, you know that I'ma want you all my life. But I got so much left to do, except for falling in love with you. So I'ma let you keep me up another time. But please don't stay the night. Don't try to change my mind. Baby, please don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. Don't make me ask you twice. Ooh, don't stay the night. Don't try to turn it to a fight. You know I love you by my side. Just don't stay the night. Almost do what's right. I'm done being polite. Oh, don't stay the night. She'll always find a way around it. I thought she'd be gone, but when I woke up in the morning, she was laying beside me. She know when she wanted. I can never turn her down. Oh, I probably should have kicked her out by now. But you're the finest of them all. Make me lose my self-control. All I wanna do is make you feel alright.
Hey Sunway, welcome back to Behind Closed Tabs, your safe space for honest conversations about sex, relationships, and everything in between. So today's topic is gonna be Behind Closed Tabs on STDs, myths, and protection that matters. Sexual transmitted diseases. Because when it comes to sex, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. So I'm your host RJKK here, and we have the greatest host of all time.
I'm not the greatest host of all time. Guys, hi, I'm Eunice.
Yeah, and today we are getting real about a topic that still carries a lot of stigma: sexually transmitted diseases or STDs, and how to protect yourself. So
Yes.
Eunice, what do you think about STDs?
I think STDs are common and yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's like very common
Yes.
like all around the world.
And do you know, according to the World Health Organization, so it's WHO, in 2023, more than 1 million sexually transmitted infections are
1
acquired.
million for real? Oh
Yeah,
my
1
goodness.
million. That's a
Okay.
huge number.
Okay.
Are acquired every single day worldwide. That
Uh-huh.
includes chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis,
Okay.
and trichomoniasis.
Oh my goodness! Like look at the names, bro. To be
Yeah,
honest,
like-
right? I'm quite left out, I guess, because I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, these are like quite common
Are you
nowadays.
familiar with these names?
Not really, except for gonorrhea and chlamydia. Yeah.
Same.
But yeah, like look at the statistics, man. Like 1
1
million.
million. Yeah. And in the US alone, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention,
You
CDC,
call it CDC, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
reported more than 2.5 million cases of chlamydia,
Oh,
gonorrhea, and syphilis in 2022.
that's insane.
Yep, and similar trends are seen across Southeast Asia, including Malaysia.
Malaysia. Oh my god. You know back then during my era, the dinosaur era. Yeah. You don't have all this, bro. I mean, it was very less actually. But I
Yeah.
have no idea about like look at the number of the cases. Like
I think
that's
STDs
like
can
striking
start
up. Yeah.
can start tracking back like long time ago.
Yeah.
When we're the ancestors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, right? Like
Yeah.
doesn't make sense, but yeah. So talking about the STD symptoms, do you have like any like idea on what are those symptoms and what can be like carrying something you can pass on?
Okay, so most STDs don't have any symptoms. Like you won't feel it.
Okay, that's even more.
That's even
dangerous.
more serious. Like you won't even
Oh.
feel it.
It's like watching watching a thriller film,
And then when you
Yeah.
found it, you got it. You know what I
Uh,
mean?
Yeah, I mean that's crazy, bro. That's like a plot twist kind of thing,
Yes,
you know?
yes, like-
yeah.
I'm fine, but turns out you're not fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's crazy. But honestly, like on a serious note, right? This is insane in sense that look at this current generation and look at the cases of STDs that we have gotten. Like I think let's talk more about in Malaysia, because like in Malaysia we used to have this we were reckless about all these kind of STDs and stuff. But look at the numbers, look at the cases according to the stats which was provided by WHO.
Yep.
So this is something serious. I think like we should bring up,
We should be more
especially-
aware of.
Yeah, especially to the students, I guess, like among the students and among Sunway students especially.
Yes. Okay,
So-
so now let's break it down the common ones.
Okay, let's
So
go.
we have chlamydia.
All right.
So it's often you don't feel it like the symptoms,
Okay.
but if you left it untreated, it
Mhm.
can cause infertility.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
ladies,
the
please
infertility
be
cases are like quite a lot at this point of time. Yeah. Because
yes.
I think nowadays the current generation, the Gen Z kind of thing, I'm not sure. They don't prefer having a child. Like, I mean, maybe
Yeah,
due to
do
the
you-
financial crisis.
Okay, this is off topic though. But
Yeah.
do you prefer to have a child?
Honestly, I would love to have babies. Like babies are cute, but then
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
bringing them to such scary world, like I mean that gives me a second thought, to be honest. Yeah. And also talking about the financial crisis in Malaysia at this point of time. Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
But talking about STDs as well, like even people who would love to have babies, and it turned out to be like causing infertility at times.
Yeah.
That's really something prominent, I feel.
Yes, you guys need to be more careful when it comes to sexual intercourse.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so next would be gonorrhea. Okay, so gonorrhea
okay, this
can
I've heard, yeah.
gonorrhea can affect the genitals,
Mm-hmm.
throat, and rectum.
Okay.
Yep.
That is also something that we have to
We need to
care
take
more
note.
on. Yeah.
Yep. But don't afraid, gonorrhea is treatable and curable. So for women, we don't feel anything, but it also can lead to infertility and problems during our pregnancy. While men
Uh-huh.
feels the pain or burning when they are urinating.
Oh,
Oh.
okay, I can feel it, bro.
You can
Yeah.
feel the burn.
all right. Like I can know how it works. Yeah. I mean, I've now gotten gonorrhea, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So also while discharge and just the pain on the testicles.
This is something serious. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
So please be careful, guys. And next up we have syphilis. So
Okay.
starts with a painless source, but if left it untreated can damage your brain and heart. Wow.
All right.
Can damage
Yeah.
your brain and heart.
Like that's
imagine that.
interesting, right? Like
How?
interesting in sense that like people are damaging their brain and heart by going through depression and stuff, adding on with syphilis now. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's so
STDs,
crazy.
like actually like even though like we are like kind of like having a casual conversation here, but
Mhm.
I feel that this should be taken more seriously, and I am actually afraid of
Getting
the
it?
future. Yeah, like no, I mean not obviously.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Let's not.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we never know when we'll get it, you know, even if
Yeah.
even if our partners are clean or we are clean.
Yes,
Like we
so-
still never know how STI just travels through. Yeah.
We need to like check regularly.
Yeah.
Like 6 months.
Maybe tested regularly, yeah.
Yep. Okay. And next up we have HPV.
Okay.
The most common STI. Some strains cause genital warts. Other lead to cervical cancer.
This is deadly.
Wow.
Yeah. This is deadly.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, first time I'm hearing about HPV as well. But yeah,
Wow.
when I did my
It can
research
lead to
on it,
cancer. Wow,
Yeah.
that's so wow. Okay.
when I did my research on this, like most of the cases of STIs
Mhm.
is actually or STD is actually on HPV and HIV.
Oh wow, we have a comment here. Speaking of STD, I have a friend who recently diagnosed hepatitis B. While he was pursuing his medical courses, while he's in his final year, he was diagnosed with hepatitis B,
You know, look at that. Look at the consequence.
and he was forced to quit.
Yeah,
Oh
like
my
look at the
God.
consequence. His whole future is like kinda in unstable kind of thing. You know, because like having this kind of STIs, right? Like it doesn't only like affects your health physically, but it
Yeah.
also like bring down your mental health, and also look at that, like one of our buddy here, he's forced to quit. Like his whole
final
future
year, and
is
he's in
questionable
his
at this
final
point of
year.
time.
That's
Yeah.
so wow.
Like I mean, I think when you're doing MBBS, right, or medical courses,
Mhm.
there are certain ethics that you shouldn't be breaking, like codes and ethics. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Be
actually
ethical,
I'm
guys.
truly sorry for you, my brother here.
The-
So, yeah.
It's his
Oh,
friend.
Okay, yeah, sorry, your friend, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for your friend, to be
God
honest,
bless
like
your friend.
seriously.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
honestly, like let's talk about the prevention tips in a bit, like after finishing about HIV and hepatitis B here. And truly sorry about it, my dear brother here.
Yes. Okay. So what's the prevention tips about? KK?
Okay, let's go on the prevention tips, since like we have gotten something disturbing on the comment section. Like honestly, that really feels bad. But yeah, like for the prevention tips, right? So guys, please use condoms every time, okay? Because we have condoms. People are manufacturing condoms for a reason. So
Yep.
I know it's more fun to have it raw, but please use condoms to avoid all this kind of STIs. Use condoms every time. Condoms are actually latex polyurethane condoms. They can reduce the risk of HIV by 85%. Look at the percentage, 85% of reduction of the risk. And it can also reduce the chance of getting gonorrhea, chlamydia and others as well. This is according to the CDC report 2022. And also for oral sex, right, dental dams are a great options as well. So please use these preventions before like getting involved in a sexual activity, I feel.
Yes.
And also as what we have discussed earlier, Eunice, like we think we should get tested regularly.
Yep.
Because if you're sexually active, especially with multiple partners,
Wow.
that's when the real risk starts.
Yes.
So you have to get tested regularly. And many STDs can be treated quickly if caught early. Look at that. Like we still have an option to treat it if
We
it is
found it,
diagnosed
yeah, well-
quickly. Yeah.
So get your check.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we have to even if you are a person
Check it
who's
regularly.
not sexually active, even if you're a passive sexual guy or a girl, so it's not wrong to get tested regularly, I feel.
But sometimes people also got it, although they are not sexually active.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like sometimes it's through the gene,
Yes.
the genetics. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's advisable to be more cautious, like on these kind of STDs that people are carrying around, especially among students. You see, at many universities, testing is free or at low cost. I think even in Sunway, it's going on a low cost for
But
students.
what if they
yeah.
are shy? Like,
That-
it's kind of taboo in our country, like talking
Actually, I
about.
agree. Culturally, right? Like all this
Yeah.
taboo thing. But yeah, to break that, we have to break that mentality, because honestly speaking, talking about this current era, I think this generation are pretty open-minded about everything that we are talking about. Even we are having a sex education show on a campus radio, and
Yep.
that's a good progress I see. So please do open up, talk to your persons, like your closed ones, your loved ones, or anyone that you feel comfortable to talk to,
Yeah.
and please bring it to the attention and get it treated. Yeah. So do not delay until the things or your condition gets worse.
Yes.
Be more open, and because we are on social medias, you can also anonymously kind of do like posting stuff and everything. Like there are cases and confessions that people could have prevented earlier if they would have known earlier. So please act fast and quick. And also talk to your partner. It might feel awkward at first, but trust me, saying, "Hey, have you been tested?" shows maturity, not mistrust. So you kind of earn their trust, and also you can eliminate the awkwardness. Yeah. And also, please do limit the number of partners or practice mutual monogamy. Monogamy is like one-to-one kind of sexual partner that you have. The fewer the partners, the lower your risk is. So,
Yes, I agree.
yeah, but even one partner can pass on an STD. So always combine this with protection and testing, as we've mentioned earlier. And
Yes.
also get vaccinated. That's the most important part. The HPV vaccine protects against cancers caused by the virus, and it's recommended for everyone aged 9 to 26 and even up to 45, I guess. Yeah. So STDs don't define you. And to wrap this up, right, to put it in conclusion, STDs don't define you guys. And
Yes.
to all the students out
Do
there,
not silence yourself.
yeah, get tested, use protection, and know your status. Silence does more harm than any infection. And please do check out the stdcheck.org, loveisrespect.org, and cdc.gov at STD. And also, your Sunway University student life is always here to assist you. Stay curious, stay safe, as and always. Take care of yourself and each other. And this is your RJKK for today. And this was Behind Closed Tabs. And I'm with...
And I'm Eunice.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening, guys. Stay tuned.
Talking to me with your eyes, I get a hint of the perfume that I like. Wear it like a disguise, I come around with the perfect alibi. Midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. I'm walking around with a smile. You got me feeling like curfew after 9. Yeah. You're tearing it up with the style. You got me living a brand new kind of life. At midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like I'm glued to you, honey, like. Oh, don't forget I love that honey taste. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like a double dipping day. Oh, it's a double dipping day. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like I'm glued to you, honey, like. Talking to me with your eyes, I get a hint of the perfume that I like. Wear it like
Hello, welcome back everybody. Welcome all Sunwayans and listeners beyond. My name is Claire, your host today for this segment called Sunway Profiles. And today on this segment, we have a really special guest. Someone who is our advisor and someone who is also in charge of this radio station and also leading us. We have a very special guest all the way from United States of America, who is a professor of communications. And I will let him introduce himself, but we have Professor Bradley. Hi, Professor Bradley. How are you doing?
Well, hello, and thanks for having me.
Well, I'm really glad that you decided, to come up this show because I was actually really worried that you wouldn't show up. So thank you so much for coming.
Well, it wouldn't have been by design, but sometimes I do get called to do other things.
Yeah, I understand. You have like a pretty packed schedule, like with many projects and classes.
That's right.
So, Professor Bradley, do you mind introducing yourself, like where you're from and what do you do and how are you related to Sunway University?
Okay, well, I'll try to give you the brief version. I'm originally from the United States, as you mentioned. I was born in New York State, but I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, mostly. And I went to the University of Pittsburgh for undergrad, and then I taught for a while at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I went back for my graduate degrees at the Newhouse School at Syracuse University. Following that, I worked at Marist University in Poughkeepsie, New York, and then NTU in Singapore, then AUD in Dubai, and now here at Sunway University in Malaysia.
So how long have you been in Malaysia itself since you've been transitioning in many countries? I would say, like you mentioned, like Dubai, Singapore, and then in the States, and then now you're here in Malaysia. So how long have you been here in Malaysia?
I think it's coming up on 6 years in Malaysia. And then I was 6 years in Dubai and 7 years in Singapore.
Wow. So coming from the US and traveling to, Singapore and Dubai, what was your first impression of Malaysia itself?
Well, actually, I'd heard of Malaysia a long time ago when I was with the Art Institute of Pittsburgh. That was actually owned by the Art Institutes International, and there was talk that they wanted to expand globally back in the day, and they had come down to two cities, Mexico City and Kuala Lumpur, as their sort of final destination places. And I don't know whatever became of that, actually, because I left to go back to get my graduate degree, so I'm not quite sure. The Art Institute International has, since they've sort of wound down, there are still a couple art institutes in operation, but so I had heard of KL back then, but not really, much. When I moved to Singapore, I heard a lot about Malaysia, and mainly one would read in the newspapers. There was a paper called The New Paper, and they kind of like to put on their front page crime in JB. So every day I was exposed to this idea that if I were to go to JB, I was definitely going to be a victim of some type of crime.
So your assumption of Malaysia was like, oh, if you step into Malaysia, you're gonna like get involved or like, meet some sort of crime in
Yes.
Malaysia itself.
Yeah, I absolutely. And I think it was like, the cultivation effect of, these newspapers. And I did come to KL for a conference. I rode a bus, and I remember being at the conference and talking to people about this, and they were like, no, that's really, you're just kind of thinking this way. But I remember staying at the hotel and thinking like, I better be careful if I go out, like, and this was down by, it was at near KLCC. And so maybe like 2 years later, a friend came and picked me up and took me somewhere to eat. And I have no idea where we were going, but I knew it was sort of outside the city center, and I was nervous. And
was your first impression of Malaysia when you first landed like sort of a country where it's, other than diverse culture, but a country where it's full of friendly people? Because you mentioned about, crime and whatsoever, that's your assumption.
Yeah, well, I didn't land. Remember, I took a bus. Well, yeah, when I came to KL. My first time in Malaysia, I just took the LRT to Woodlands, and then you take a bus over the Causeway. And then there's like a mall there.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking like, I can't go outside this mall. Like I'm just within the mall. And I would go to the edge, like the doors, and I would look out. And the whole time, the newspaper articles were in my head, like, you can't walk the streets. It's going to be dangerous for you. And I know it seems silly now, but back then, that was my impression. I had lived in Singapore for about a year, and they consider Singapore Asia Light, Asia 101. If you're coming to Asia, like Singapore is kind of a good transition.
Yeah, Singapore I would say Singapore is one of the safest Asia country. Yeah.
Definitely. And actually Dubai is pretty safe too. But yeah, so back then it was I had this impression, but later on I came up to KL more often, and over time I started to realize that all those stories had kind of overwhelmed me, and of course it wasn't the case. And then when I went and I lived in Dubai, then by the time I came back and the opportunity was to come to Malaysia and KL, if you think about it, and I made this case before, Malaysia and KL it's kind of a cross between Singapore and Dubai in a way, because
we're in between, right? We are like quite developed, but in a way we're also not that developed in some areas.
Well, right. And there is the culture of China and India are here, as they are in Singapore. But then the speaking Arabic and having the Muslim Islam influence is definitely something I got from the UAE. So hearing the call to prayers was very common for me. In fact, in the malls in Dubai, you hear the call to prayer. So coming back to Malaysia was kind of a nice mix between Singapore and Dubai, if you think about it.
So would you say your first, like to sum up, would you say your first impression of Malaysia was like, you mentioned like half between Dubai and Singapore, but landing in Malaysia itself, it's very comfortable to you because of the exposure you got previously?
Yeah, I definitely, well, again, my initial impressions were that I had to be cautious and careful. But then over the years, I came to understand that that's kind of silly. When when I would talk to I remember some people early on when I would talk to them, they'd say, "Oh, those are foreign workers who, are involved with this crime. It's not actually Malaysians, it's Indonesians and other people, this kind of thing." So I would get a lot of different kinds of information, and it's like anywhere else, you have to take everything with a bit of a grain of salt, and it depends on where you're going and what you're doing, and but for the most part, it's safe. And I go to all parts of Malaysia and KL now, and I don't really think twice about it now.
Well, that is a very long story in terms of like your perspective. But it's good to know that people from different countries have different perspective of Malaysia and how they actually enjoy this country itself. So moving on, happy Teachers Day, by the way.
Okay,
Today is
thank you.
Teachers Day.
Yes.
So I'll be asking a question regarding your teaching style. So as a professor for for a few years, right? Yeah. What would you say, like, how would you describe your working style, working with different people from like different countries in Dubai, Singapore, and now that in Malaysia?
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate. When I first started teaching at the Art Institute of Pittsburgh, it was kind of a difference between those who were from the city and those who were from rural areas. That was sort of my first impression in terms of being in the classroom and teaching. And there's a little bit of that still around, wherever I have gone. I mean, less so in Singapore, obviously, because everybody's kind of cosmopolitan and urban-ish because it's a city-state. But in Dubai, I had a lot of, students who were, from rural areas in the Middle East. And so I'd never really experienced that before. In the States, of course, there are people who come from smaller towns and then and whatnot at Marist College. So, I mean, it just depends on where I'm at and the student makeup, and I try to sort of get the vibe and then approach it accordingly.
So would you say, like, how would you differentiate the teaching styles in different countries? Like you mentioned, you get the vibe, right? But what's the vibe here in Sunway for you?
Well, I will say that in Dubai, my students were much more of the opinion that everything was flexible, that everything could be negotiated, that nothing was sort of etched in stone. And the idea of empirical research, that we could know things, was kind of an eye-opener for some of my students there. Now, remember, I had students from Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, Jordan, Iraq, and, of course, Saudi. So, they came from all over there. And so that was a very diverse international student body, probably the most diverse that I had ever taught, because in Singapore, 95% of the students are Singaporean. So, I was only exposed to a handful of students from a couple of other countries. And they did have a lot of exchange programs, and there were research exchange programs. So I worked with students from the US and Germany on research projects, and we had a lot of guest lecturers, which was great at NTU. Some of the top names in the communication field came to be adjunct professors at NTU, so I met a lot of folks through there. But it varies depending on where you're at and what you're doing. I think obviously my Malaysian experience is similar to my Singaporean experience in terms of the students and the way that they function.
So we're in, like, Singapore and Malaysia is sort of similar because of our cultures and backgrounds, right?
Obviously, yeah.
So, like you mentioned, you're in the communication field for like so many years. So communication is very broad. But what kind of advice would you give your students who is already studying this field and pursuing this field itself?
Well, it's a huge field, so really you get to pick where you want to focus, I think that's the great thing about communication, and that is, and remember, it's communication or communications. You can leave off the S or add the S, and it changes the perspective quite a bit. But you have a lot of areas you can go in, and sometimes we can talk about human communication and the way that occurs, and we can also talk about media industries and the way that we adapt our language when we're speaking in media, whether it be traditional or social media or whatnot. So there's a lot of different areas, and I think that's the wonderful thing. Some students might wish to go in and work for corporate communications. Other students might work in public relations. Others might be social media managers. Others could work for a brand. There's so many different areas, but it's basically about connecting people with ideas or with products or with each other.
I see. So in terms of communications itself with, different industries, like you mentioned, social media and whatnot, would you think that having AI today would affect communications itself, and the challenges that students might face in the workforce would be extra harder compared to, traditional communications like before AI?
Well, that's a huge topic, and it's one that we're just starting to grapple with now. So I'm not sure how it's going to progress, but I think that you could view AI similarly as we would view other technological tools, that they provide a tool that we can use. And as we know, various tools and technologies have different affordances. They allow us to do different things. And so I guess the danger is that we rely on it too much and it becomes a crutch of sorts. And you know that if you rely on something too much, it can affect who you are and what you're about. So, for example, I don't own a car, so I can't drive around to places. I have to walk or use public transportation. And I believe that's probably the only thing keeping my heart ticking. If I had a car, I think I would be 100 pounds overweight and not in good health. So I think that we use the tools and technologies that we have the best way that we can, and hopefully we don't rely on it so much that we forget or we lose our own talents or skills.
I think that's a really good saying and great advice. It's just that we don't rely so much on AI. We still have to use our own skills and creativity that we learn from, uni, school, and our experience. So one final question before we head off to this game time. Can you tell us something that we don't know, like a hidden talent that you have? Like, do you play the piano secretly?
I mean, there's a lot of different things. I guess not a lot of people know that I used to run a record label. I had two independent record labels back in Pittsburgh.
I think that most of your students know that you secretly run a record label because you mentioned that in class, but is there something else that we don't know?
I used to. And I was awarded the Gold and Platinum Awards from the Recording Industry Association of America. So that's for sales of over 500,000 for the gold and then over 1 million for the platinum. And actually, we sold, I think, collectively around 8 million. So multi-platinum award winning record executive producer, I guess you could say, or promoter of sorts. I dabbled with several instruments. My mom was a piano teacher for many years, but I'm not very good at it. And so I only do it as a hobby, nothing that I would, do in public.
We shall see one day. It's a hidden talent that shall not be hidden anymore. So right now we'll be heading off to our section, a game section called Guess the Slang. So right now I have to give Professor Bradley three Malaysian slangs, and he'll have to guess what the three slangs means and vice versa. So he'll be giving me another three American words for me to guess. So are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, the first one is tapao. So imagine you're going to, a restaurant and you eat something and then you're pretty full. So you say like, I cannot finish my food lah. I will tapao. What does that mean?
Well, I know that one. You want it to take away.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I do have a question. But what is bungus?
Bungus is takeaway Malay. Tapao is more of a Cantonese way to say it.
Okay.
But it's already been incorporated in our culture that we say, tapao.
Tapao. Okay. Yeah. Because I told a friend of mine, I said, go up and tell them, tapao. Take them this tapao.
It's not tapao, it's tapao.
Tapao.
Yes, that's the slang. But mostly Malaysian Chinese will use that, but bungkus in a way, Malay or like in general Malaysians will use it. Depending on who you're speaking with, but in general these are our slangs.
Okay.
So second one is, let's lepak one corner for a bit lah, before we start writing our paper. So what does lepak means?
It's like relax la? It's like you're gonna relax for a little bit or chill out?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Lepak is like, chill out one corner.
Okay.
Yep. Wow, you're pretty good.
I'm pretty good.
And pretty quick.
Remember, I mean, between Singapore and Malaysia, I've been here, 10 years. So between the
Wow.
two. So
Okay.
and some of the slang is similar between Singapore and
Okay, do not speak in another language because he understands it. Anyway, last is bocho. You and Mama last night with Calvin, you bocho. What does that mean?
I don't know that. I know Botak is bald because or Bojack. Botak? Botak.
Botak.
Yeah,
Botak means
I'm
bald.
Botak, right?
Bocho.
And what is Bojack?
Okay, bojack.
Yeah. I know Belanges, I treat you.
Belanja.
Belanja. I
Uh-huh.
belanja you. Yeah. But I don't know Bojo.
Bocho, it's a Hokkien word, but
Okay.
it's already incorporated in our slang. Bocho means, why didn't you invite me? So
Why didn't you invite me?
you went to the
Okay.
mamak last night with Calvin and the gang, but you didn't invite me. Bocho.
Ah,
So
okay.
next time you see your students.
Next time I'll belanja you. Yeah.
No, this is called bocho, not blancha.
Right, no, but if you didn't, so you'll invite me because I will belanja.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. So next we'll be having Professor Bradley giving me 3 American words,
Okay.
and then I'll guess it.
Well,
So,
I think you have some advantage in a way because the American media is all over the place. So I know there are terms that you would have heard in TV and in movies. So I'm going to pick at least 2 from my hometown in Pittsburgh.
okay.
And the first one,
Mm-hmm.
you may have known it because Mark Cuban used it when he was,
Oh no, I don't
describe-
watch.
okay, the Shark Tank. Okay, well, the term is jagoff.
Sorry.
Jagoff.
Can you use that in a sentence?
Look at that guy, the way he parked. He's taking up 2 spaces. What a jagoff.
That guy's kind of snobbish, but a show off.
Rude, yeah, a
Rude,
rude
snobbish.
person, or somebody not behaving properly. We call them a jagoff.
Oh. So
I don't know where that comes from, but it's definitely a Pittsburgh thing.
jagoff. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. Wow.
It's used. You can look it up. Mark Cuban has used it. He is from Mount Lebanon, which is right next to Bethel Park, where I grew up. We were the
Jagoff.
So jagoff. Okay.
Okay.
So the next one, nebby, or neb nose.
Nebby? Can you use that?
Don't be nebby. Don't be such a neb nose.
Don't be such. Wait. I almost said something. Don't be such a difficult person. Like, don't be
No.
so rude.
No.
A
That would
nebby?
be a jagoff. Don't be. a
Wait. Let me guess. Don't be a nebby.
Don't be so nebby.
Don't
don't
be
be-
so cranky.
No.
Don't be so moody.
No.
No, I don't know what
Okay.
does that mean.
Means stay in your own lane. Don't be in my business.
Oh my
So
God.
somebody who's nebby is somebody who gets in somebody else's business. And if you're a neb nose, that's like the noun. That's like somebody who gets in somebody else's business.
You know, in Malaysia, there's a saying called kepochi.
I don't know that.
Don't
one.
be a kepochi. Don't
Oh
be a
yeah,
nebby.
don't be so capo.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I know. So that's kind of like that. Don't be nebby.
Okay. One last one.
All right. So let's see. Let's say you're being a Monday morning quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be such a Monday morning quarterback. So what is a Monday morning quarterback?
What are these terms? I've never heard of it. Monday morning quarterback. Don't be such a teacher's pet. Make
no,
sense?
No.
Monday morning.
It's
so
somebody
bad.
who criticizes after the fact. So so the idea is most NFL games for American football are held on Sunday. So during the games, players make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that the viewer or somebody else would come in on Monday and tell them all the things they did wrong and that they could have done right. So if you're highly critical of someone, we say you're a Monday morning quarterback. You're somebody who comes in after the fact to tell somebody what they should be doing or how they should be doing it.
So next week Monday, if we're having your class, we're like, stop being a Monday morning quarterback.
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
You
I get
have-
what you
yeah.
mean. Okay.
It's somebody who, after the fact would make comments about something, Yeah.
Okay.
So there you have it.
Okay, that's all for Guess the Slang. And thank you so much for tuning in Sunway Profile. I'm your host, Claire. And do remember to follow us on our social media pages. That will be Sun4U Official on Facebook, Instagram, and many other social media. Stay tuned for exciting content and DM your next guest on Instagram. Thank you, guys.
That I like, wear it like a disguise. I come around with the perfect alibi. Midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. TikTok, this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. I'm walking around with a smile. You got me feeling like curfew after 9. Yeah. You're tearing it up with the style. You got me living a brand new kind of life. At midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. TikTok, this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh, I'm glued to you, honey, like. Oh, don't forget I love that honey taste. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like a double dipping day. Oh, it's a double dipping day. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave.
Hello and good afternoon, Sunway. You're listening to Fillet O Friday tuning Sun4U Radio, the brightest campus radio. For this week's Hot Take Highway, Sun4U Press is having a special book talk on happiness at the KL International Book Fair. So if you are in need of an extra dose of sunshine lately, and no, it's not the actual sunshine because it's been ridiculously hot lately, so come and join them from 2 to 3 p.m. on the 25th of May at the Republica Merah, Tun Razak Hall 3 at the Kuala Lumpur World Trade Center. You can find out more at our highway highlight on Instagram, alias Sun4U Official. Next up, get ready to experience something like no other. Coming to JC1 at 8 p.m. on the 22nd of May is a world-class guitar and violin performance by Duo Belcourt. And trust me, you won't want to miss this, okay? Feel it firsthand of the beauty and passion of Spanish folklore, brought to you by the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences in collaboration with the Spanish Embassy. The entry is free, so don't forget to bring along your friends and family and experience a night of wonderful music. Again, for more information and to RSVP, visit our Highway Highlight on Instagram. We know you are always listening to us, yep, but what if you were the one doing the talking? If that sounds like something exciting, this just might be for you. The 2025 Inter-Varsity Undergraduate Public Speaking Competition, IUPSC, is now open for registration. Open to all college and undergraduate students from Sunway University and Sunway College. Among other institutions, this prestigious competition is a great chance to sharpen your presentation skills, boost your confidence in front of a live audience, gain expert feedback, connect with talented students from universities across Malaysia, and let's not forget, you could win exciting prizes and earn recognition to enhance your academic and professional journey. So regardless of whether you've got it mastered or you've just starting it out, this is your chance to inspire, influence, and ignite change with your voice. So, how does it work? There will be 2 rounds, a preliminary round and a final round. But don't let that scare you. Give it your best shot. For more inquiries, you can email iupsc2025.official@yahoo.com. If you'd like to join, or if you know someone who you think might be a good fit for the competition, you can get the sign-up link and more information over at our Highway Highlight on Instagram. As part of the Respect campaign, the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences are hosting a talk about sexual harassment and what you can do if you're affected. The talk features guest speaker YDH, Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Tan Gyok Moy of Bukit Aman PDRM, who brings extensive experience in handling sexual harassment cases within law enforcement. This might sound like a scary topic, but it's something that is so important and good to know regardless of your gender. So do attend with an open mind and bring a friend. Maybe you'll learn something new. Coming up next, are you a competitive pickleball player or looking to become one? Team Sunway is looking for students great on the pickleball court. So if you're a natural with a paddle in your hand, hit them up. Don't let your skills be hidden. Email Miss Siti Hajar at sitihajarm@sunway.edu.my. To find out more and fill out the talent survey form, visit our Highway Highlight on Instagram, Sun4U Official. So we mentioned about this last week, but if you are looking to up your LinkedIn game, there will be a workshop happening on Thursday, which is the upcoming Thursday, May 22nd, from 7 to 9 p.m. at Lecture Theatre 1, Sunway University, facilitated by Miss Go Ki-boon from LinkedIn Talent and Learning Solutions. The workshop will provide super valuable information and you'll get an e-certificate too. You can find out more information and the registration link for this workshop on our Highway Highlight on Instagram. And lastly, do you think you could be the next Nicole David? Because Team Sunway is also calling for competitive squash player to represent them in the upcoming varsity tournaments. For more information and to get the contact of who you can email, if you have any questions along with the registration link, visit our Highway Highlight on Instagram. So for this is Hot Take Highway, and you're listening to Fillet O Friday, tuning Sun4U Radio. I'm your host, Eunice. Thank you.
Talking to me with your eyes, I get a hint of the perfume that I like. Wear it like a disguise, I come around with the perfect alibi. Midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. for sweet, sweet. Loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh. I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh. I'm glued to you, honey, like. I'm walking around with a smile. You got me feeling like curfew after 9. Yeah. You're tearing it up with the style. You got me living a brand new kind of life. At midnight, pouring my heart out like it's water. Tick-tock, you know this night ain't getting younger. Feels like chasing a star up and down in the sky. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet. Loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh. I'm glued to you, honey, like ooh, ah, ooh. I'm glued to you, honey, like. Oh, don't forget I love that honey taste. Yeah. Oh, I'm feeling like a double dipping day. Oh, it's a double dipping day. I can't get enough of sweet, sweet. Loving like we're just a couple bees, please. I'm glued to you, honey, like leave me, and I'll be sticking to you. I'm glued to you, honey. I'm glued to you, honey. Hey. Ooh, ah, ooh. I'm glued to you, honey, like.
That is all for this week's broadcast. Tune in next week to feast on more talks, giggles, and music here at Fillet O Friday on Sun4U Radio. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Sun4U Official for more content such as this. And with that, have a nice day, everyone, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
There's nothing I wouldn't do for you. 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 For you. For you. For you. Give it time. I know that I'm not easy. This cold heart of mine, she really took a beating before you. You stuck through blizzards, winter nights with you. Now I'm blooming just for you. For you.